Rodrigo. Good morning.
Good morning.
So happy that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to talk about a lot of things. First, you were born in Brazil, and you've been moving a lot, and eventually you moved from Brazil to the U.S.
Yeah.
And you've also been moving within the U.S.
A little bit, not so much, but a bit. I spent some time in New York, but Los Angeles became the port.
The port, all right. And, well, because of that past also with moving a lot, is it okay to say that exploring what's out there has been like a theme in your life?
It has, and I'm aware that it's a cliche, but when I was a kid, well, throughout my teenage years, childhood and teenage years, my family would move around. Every 3 years we'd move to a different town. And
Why?
It was my dad's job. He would always take an opportunity that others didn't quite want to take. First, I say didn't want to take because when you're from Rio, like I am and my dad, you think that you're in the best place in the world and you just don't bother even looking outside, you know? And so my dad, in order to justify that to me as a kid, he would say, you know, all my colleagues, they just care about, you know, staying here, being at the beach and all. They think they're in the best place in the world, but they don't know because they've never been out. So, and my dad is a salesman, so he would sell it really well to me, saying, we're different. We're the ones who go out, who abandon this so that we know at worst, we're going to find out that, in fact, we are from the most amazing city in the world. And, you know, and if not, then we'll discover other great things. We'll discover, you know, if we have problems, we'll learn new solutions. And we are this kind of people. This
Adventurous.
Yeah, and so, of course, I'm like, yeah. And so I, in a way, I had to invent the courage that I didn't have, you know. I had to invent. I had to pretend.
Yeah.
And so
to follow up with that.
Yeah. Over the years, it was a good thing. I think there's a lot of sadness to it too, right? But
yeah, because what is the downside?
We could talk about that later. The good side is that it made me brave to, you know, venture to other places. The downside is that, you know, I was pretending to be tough, but I was sad because I was leaving my best friend, my girlfriend, my school, and all that. So I went through, I don't know, 7 different high schools, or not high school, but, you know, what's before high school in English? That one before high school. Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
And so there is that, you know. I had to abandon, and I was like, no, yeah, I'm an explorer. More like, I'm an explorer.
Aww.
But you know, but there was the sad part too.
Yeah. Did you find a way for yourself also to sort of put that or process that into the music you make, those experiences?
Well, the music I make is me. You know, I'm writing about this stuff. Yeah. I mean, of course, much more. But if we talk about that, you know, Irene is about that. Tarde is about that. Yeah. And many others in different ways. You know.
Yeah. And there's, to me, when I listen, especially when I listen to Tarde, for example, even without listening to every word, it sort of gives me that melancholic feeling. It almost makes me wonder if you, for example, are homesick. Are you ever homesick?
I am, yeah. I am very often homesick. But again, I was trained to... I'm Brazilian, so we have this, even a word that is like savoring the pain of being homesick.
What's that word?
Saudade.
Ah, yes.
So, and we use it as a noun, not in, like in English, it's a verb, right? You say, I miss that. And in Portuguese, it's a noun, so you say, I have saudade. So it becomes a thing that is inside, that you have, that you carry.
Yeah.
And then to like, if let's say I miss you, and I have a picture of you, and I say, I'm gonna kill my saudade by looking at your picture. And, yeah, and so, but about Tarde, so that song is like it's a song that the lyrics talk about are saying, oh, at last it took me so long. Tardei means to take a long time. Oh, it took me so long to come back, and you know, but it's throughout the song. Maybe at the end you realize that I or the character hasn't arrived yet. It's just one of those songs to help you keep marching. You know, like in the military they have those types of songs.
Yeah.
It's a different, aesthetically it's different, but it's just the idea, you know, it's like...
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm projecting the arrival.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten there.
Is Brazil a place you'd ever want to return to? Especially, you know, given the current situation there.
Yeah, I mean, the situation is absolutely terrible. And that perhaps is a reason to go back. But...
Why do you say that?
Because in times where animosity and hate, I mean, it's dangerous, but it brings me closer because, you know, it's my country, it's my family, my friends, and so they're trying to figure out a way to fight. I guess fight is not quite the word I would use, but to confront the rhetoric of hate and racism and homophobia and misogyny and all these unbelievable things that are happening there and across the world. This wave of this phenomena of things turning that way. You know, the frustration with representative democracy somehow reflecting on a choice for extreme right. We could discuss that, but I mean, yes, I would go back to Brazil. Yes, I don't plan to do it now because, you know, for the next few years I have a schedule. But I'm sure at one point I will return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your family, but maybe you could also mean something with your music.
I hope to. Yeah, I wrote a song for the election, for the presidential election.
You did?
Because, well, my father voted for the unfortunate one who won. And we have disagreed in politics for quite a number of years.
You and your dad?
Yeah, but we managed to keep it civil, and we try to make our discussion somehow an example of, you know, we disagree, and it's important to discuss things with someone who you disagree. If you only talk with people you agree, nothing will move. And so we made a point. He went a little bit extreme because I started writing things on social media, and he would always go on social media and write against me on the platforms.
Your own father.
Yeah, but in a humorous way, but it's kind of strange. People are like, you and your dad are like, that's a strange relationship. But I think it's interesting, you know. If I'm speaking publicly, I can't prevent him from, you know, of having a conversation.
Yeah.
But then I thought like, oh, I'm gonna do one thing that he's not gonna be able to respond. So I wrote a song trying to convince him to change his vote.
Ah, what's the name of the song?
I don't think I even named the song. Oh yeah, I did. It's called Pense Bem, which is...
Think well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't, I just filmed myself playing and put it there, and his response is like, nice try. It's like, well, that's all I can do is try.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. Okay, well, good that you're doing that. I feel you do a lot with your songs and your music. You wrote the iconic title song for Narcos.
Yeah.
It's iconic because, like, everyone who knows that series knows your song. It's like it became one thing.
Yeah.
What were you thinking, or how did you write that song?
So I was asked to write the song before they even filmed anything. I only had scripts, which I liked, because then it allowed me to imagine instead of watching, you know? And so they gave me the story. It's the story of Pablo Escobar, story of a monster, right? In the eyes of everyone. I'm not
Massive drug dealer.
Yeah. You know, it's like a public enemy number one, and a killer. And so I asked myself, why tell the story of a monster? What's the point? Is it to thrive in seeing violence? Not for me. So I thought, well, the only point, and in literature that I went back to see, Frankenstein or all the other monsters, you tell that tale to reflect the monsters that we ourselves have. In contrast, we look at a monstrous character, and you distance yourself from that character, and you say, "Oh, what a horrible thing." But then, if the tale is a good tale, you will eventually realize, like, "Oh my God, you relate somehow to that."
You can channel with your inner monster.
The story will reflect the monsters that we have, and that's the service of the story. This is in my head, okay? They didn't tell me that. But I thought, well, it's okay. That makes sense to me, because Pablo Escobar is an extreme, but if by watching him, you realize a little bit of the greed that you have, or how maybe that you took your ambition a little too far here and there. I'm not talking about killing people, but so that's a service. Then you're looking at yourself in a different way. So I thought, well, okay, so I have to humanize that monster, right? So I thought, okay, so Pablo, how do I humanize Pablo? I thought of him as a boy, and him deciding to become what he became, deciding to be Pablo Escobar. How did that happen, and why? And so I did a little bit of research on his family and found that his father wasn't there. He was absent, and his mother was a strong woman. So I imagined I imagined an afternoon when he's at the kitchen table and he's eating something and she's washing the dishes and she's lecturing him. She's telling him, "Don't trust anyone, Pablito. Take it. No one is going to..."
This is all in your head?
Yeah,
okay,
I'm creating a story to write the song for. So, she's telling him, "Don't trust anyone. Don't, do whatever it takes to, no one's going to help you. This is the world that it is." Right? So she's bitter. And he's listening to that. But then on the radio, there's a song playing. And it's a song from his mother's teenage years. So that's a 50s song, which is a song that represents the time before she became bitter. So I imagine this song is a song sang by a crooner, by a romantic, like a Carlos Gardel, like, a romantic from the time when she was a girl. And so because his father is absent, that is her mother's idol. That is the ideal man, the hero. And so Pablo, at 8, wants to be the man of the house. He wants to be that man in the song, which his mother is in love with in her mind. So I wrote that song. So I wrote the song that is, so that's why the song sounds a bit like a 50s song. It's just, and it's kind of dramatic. And it's not quite a song from that place. It's not a song from Medellin, but like a broad Latin standard, kind of a bolero.
Why are you behind a guitar and not behind a camera?
I know, tell them. I've been trying to tell them. But I'm a frustrated, not frustrated, but I love film.
I hear it. I was in the story.
Yeah, so my songs I can't do films yet, but now they're going to hire me.
It's coming.
They're coming.
I'm sure.
But I write the songs, to tell, kind of like it's my way of making the invisible films that I couldn't do.
No, it's a talent.
It's fun.
It's a talent.
It's fun to tell a story, right?
Yeah.
That's what we like.
It was great to have you here. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
that story. We know now, I'm going to look at Narcos in a whole different way now.
Nice.
We're going to listen to another one of your songs. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.